Well, my name is Tom Jones, and I'm here to see Jerry's presentation tonight. I'm a retired federal worker, and Mr. Issa has, for some reason, been death on federal employees. I don't know why, but I think it's time to retire Mr. Issa and put in Mr. Tetalman in his place, and I'll do what I can to help him do that.
The winds have changed. The winds have changed.
One more time for the Jackie After Theater Project. Thank you so much for your wonderful music sharing with us tonight, coming out and supporting Jerry's congressional campaign. He's the incoming chair of Planned Parenthood Affiliates of California, which educates elected officials and advocates for the provision of unfettered reproductive health care for all Californians. Guys, so please give me a warm welcome to Mr. Sam Ward.
Thank you so much. Again, I'm here on behalf of the Planned Parenthood Action Fund of the Pacific Southwest. That's the political arm of Planned Parenthood. I'm going to assume most of you know about Planned Parenthood and what we do. We've been in the news a lot in the last couple of years. We've joined together with Big Bird to destroy the very fabric of American society. The policies that have been put in place over the last 10 years have had a devastating effect on women. But sadly, after 2010, the attacks on women have only increased and only multiplied. And Darrell Issa has been at the forefront of those attacks. Darrell Issa voted to eliminate funding for Planned Parenthood. Not to eliminate federal funding for abortion, because, mind you, there is no such thing as federal funding for abortion. He voted to eliminate funding for Planned Parenthood. He voted to eliminate cancer screenings. He voted to eliminate breast exams. He voted to eliminate screenings and treatment for STIs. He voted to eliminate funding for education programs. And most importantly, he voted to eliminate low-cost, quality health care, including contraception, for millions of low-income women. That is the type of man that Darrell Issa is. He is an enemy of women. He is an enemy of reproductive choice. He is frankly far out of step with this community. Jerry Tetalman is the solution to the Darrell Issa problem.
Yeah.
That's why I'm standing with Jerry Tetalman. That's why Planned Parenthood is standing with Jerry Tetalman. And that's why I'm very glad that all of you are standing with Jerry Tetalman. Thank you so much.
The next speaker we have is Miss Francine Busby, the chairwoman of San Diego North County Democrats. Please help me welcome her to the stage.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure to be here because we are supporting our standard bearer. As a former candidate, as the chair of this party, I just want to thank Jerry Tetalman for having the courage, the dedication, and the commitment to sacrifice his time, his family, and his life, any of you have run before, to run as our standard bearer. As you know, the most compelling reason that anybody votes at all is because somebody personally asked them to vote. It's not the mailers, it's not the TV ads. So, if you haven't volunteered yet, please go to Jerry's office. The most important thing to do is walk door to door. I can tell you from my experience, when you do that, and I see a walker right out here, people say, thank you. They say, thank you for doing this. Thank you for giving me this information. I didn't know about all these races and propositions. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So thank you for coming. Thank you for volunteering. Thank you for supporting Jerry. Thank you, Jerry, for standing up and carrying our standard. Thank you.
Thank you, Francine. Can you please give her another warm round of applause? So our last speaker is somebody you may have heard of. He's sitting in the front row. Please help give me a big round of applause for your 49th congressional candidate, Mr. Jerry Tetalman.
Thank you, Morgan. Well, this election is upon us. And it's about the middle class. It really is about the middle class. It's about health care. It's about education. It's about providing jobs. And it's about more than that as well. It's about women's right to choose, but it's also about the environment. You know, it's about world peace. It's about international law. There's a lot of different issues there. Now, you know, the middle class is under attack. And really look at it, you say, what's happening with the middle class? One of the things Darrell Issa is doing, he wants to privatize things. He wants to privatize the post office. He wants to take good paying jobs that are union jobs and replace those with privatization and break those unions. Now, unions are what built the middle class in this country. If you want to see what this country would look like without unions, go back in time. Look at China, where you work in China for 30 cents an hour, and you work in dangerous working conditions, and if you try to start a union, you get 10 years in jail. So we have unions in this country for a reason. That's why I'm supporting that No on 32. It's a very important thing, because unions help build the middle class. The other things, of course, that helped build the middle class was public education. Anybody can come to this country. Anybody can come here or be born here into poverty, and through public education rise from poverty to the middle class and even beyond to become wealthy in this country. That's because quality public education is very important. What does Darrell Issa want to do? What do the Republicans want to do? They want to privatize education. They want charter schools. They want to break the unions where you can't get a living wage. This is a big issue right now. We want to support our public employees and the right to unionize. We want to support them. We want to support all workers. The idea that we want a balance. This is what keeps the middle class in this country. But what has made America great? How can we get the economy going? It really is about innovation. America is a great economic power because we're the best innovators in the world. We're the ones that come up with new ideas, whether it's Silicon Valley with Google and Facebook, or right here in Sorrento Valley, our biotech industry. There's a relationship between our industry here, between biotech here. I talked to somebody that owns a biotech company here in San Diego. He said, why do we have it here? Because we have UCSD here. We have the Salk Institute. We do research here. It is research and development that leads to new ideas, that leads to new industry. And that is important, because the relationship between government, it should be a hand up. Research is being cut back. My idea of government is that it should give you a hand up, not a hand out. The idea that you get a student loan, you go to school, you repay that loan, you pay taxes, you start a business, you get a business loan to start that business. Those are the important things in this election. Now, there's a lot on the line with this election. The election of President Obama, it's not just about me right here and right here. This is a national election. And President Obama is so important that we elect President Obama so he can continue the work that he's doing. Go ahead. You know, President Obama has changed America's place in the world. He was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. A lot of people say President Obama didn't deserve that Nobel Peace Prize. It was given before he had done anything. But I say he did deserve it. The reason why? He changed the philosophy. He said that we're going to work with our allies around the world. George Bush had a philosophy of unilateralism. We're going to go into Iraq all by ourselves. We're going to go in there. We're going to do what we want to do. We don't care what the UN says. We're not going to work with our allies. President Obama has rebuilt our alliances around the world. He has ended the Iraq War. He has fulfilled his promise. He's going to end the war in Afghanistan. And I believe we should support President Obama. You know, most of you know me in here, but there's a little bit about my background. You probably don't know, not everybody here knows me. Some people are brand new. You know, I started off as a teenager as a political activist, and I protested the Vietnam War. I went to all kinds of protests, and I got very involved in that. But it taught me a lesson. It taught me a lesson that as an individual, that you can stand with a group of other people in protest, and it makes a difference in elections, that it makes a difference in politics, and it makes a difference what happens in your life. Now, as one person, a lot of times we think that we are not strong enough, that we're one person out there, that we don't make a difference. But let me tell you something, it really does make a difference. When you are not just one, but you multiply yourself, you're hundreds of people. You know, one twig, you can snap it like that, but 100 twigs, you can't snap it. And this is the idea of empowerment. I want to talk to you a little bit about empowerment. Because this is really something I've studied, and it gives you the power to really change. And you can see this in this movie, that it is about empowerment. It's about people taking a stand. And a stand is a lot different than an opinion. Everybody's got an opinion. They'll tell you their opinion all day long. But it's the people that say, I'm taking a stand, I'm going to work for this. I'm going to go show up at that campaign office, I'm going to go work precincts, I'm going to make phone calls. This is really where politics takes place. It takes place in that you educate yourself first. First you educate yourself about politics. But as a political activist, there's a second step. And the second step is you have to open your mouth. You have to tell other people. You have to educate other people. And that can be done in person, on the phone, or through the internet. We all have more power now than anyone in the history that's ever existed because we have access to the media. It's no longer mass media just coming at you. It's a two-way street. As my volunteers know, you can go on Facebook and you can post a comment. You can put a website out there. You can put your ideas out there and you will get a response. When Daryl Issa held the women hearings in February, what happened? I was getting donations from around the country. Women were outraged. They were sending me emails and donations. Why? Because it makes a difference. When Susan Coleman, when they changed the policy and they said, we're going to defund Planned Parenthood, we're not going to support it. What happened? The internet outrage. People got on there 3 days later, they changed their policy because we have more power. We have to find our power. We have to step into it and we have to say, yes, we have the courage to speak out. We have the courage to make a difference. You're going to see this in this film. This film is not about America, but this is about people in a situation saying, hey, we want peace in the world. We want to protect the environment. We want whatever it is we want. We want justice in the world. These are the ideals that are worth standing for. And occasionally, people die for their ideas as they stand out there. We don't, it's an idea of speaking up. The idea of putting yourself on the line. And so we know what's at stake in this election. We know what's at stake. The middle class is at stake. The environment's at stake. The Republicans say global warming is a hoax. We know what's at stake in world peace. Mitt Romney wants to invade Iran. The idea of bombing Iran, that can lead to who knows where. The idea of working with our allies is where I would rather go. So I want to appreciate everyone that everything you've done, everything you've done in the campaign so far. But I want to challenge you that this is not just about the campaign. I want to win. I want to go to Congress. Obviously, I need your support to do that. I need the support of lots of people to do that. But this is really about something else as well. That we are all part of a movement. I've traveled around the world. I've gone to peace, conventions around the world. And I'll tell you, there is a movement of people around the world that we are one. They're working for peace. They're working for justice. They're working to save the environment. And you're part of that movement. You're the progressive movement. You're people on the cutting edge. The Republican agenda is to roll it back. Go back 1950s, go backwards in time. We need to move forward. We can have peace in this world. The Nobel Peace Prize was just awarded to the European Union. Now, a little bit of my background, I'm the author of a book, One World Democracy, about international law. And I believe that this awarding of the Nobel Peace Prize to the European Union was significant. Why? Because after thousands and thousands of years, there's finally peace in Europe. Finally, after 2 world wars, the worst wars in the world were created in Europe. Why is Europe at peace now? Why? Because they settled their disputes with law. They disputed rather than force. They settled it with ballots rather than bullets, with with courts rather than cannons. And I believe that we can find peace in this world through that same process by turning this world into a more peaceful world. I want to thank you all for coming here. I want you to watch the movie. I want you to get into it. I want you to find your power. I want you to find your voice. I want you to speak up. I want you to join me. The only way that I can win this campaign, to beat Daryl Issa who stands opposed to environmental regulations, Daryl Issa that's opposed to women's rights, Daryl Issa that wants to roll us back in time. The only way I can beat him, I can't do it by myself. The Republicans had the convention recently, and they had a slogan out there, "We built it." And they were trying to challenge that idea that anybody can do something, they can do it by themselves, but they're wrong. Everything you do in life is done through other people. And it is that connection with other people. It is the other people that give you the power. And we are all part of that movement. So I want to thank you for coming. And I will be around afterwards. I want to see you later afterwards. And I want you to work for the campaign or whatever you're doing out there. I will help you as well on your journey through life. Thank you.
I think that Jerry Tetalman is good for us right now. I think he has a new and fresh disposition and rapport with our California politics. He's friendly to every community group, and without going into issues, I just think that Jerry has a new and a clean and fresh attitude towards politics in general. Go ahead and vote for Jerry. I believe he's going to be the man we want in